We do know that some of the prophets did show up more than once, but Moshe Rabbeinu himself, we are told, came back as Rabbi Akiva, and different Hasidim claim that their Rebbe was Moshe. Breslov, they say that Rav Nachman was a reincarnation of Moshe Rabbeinu.
But then once I started thinking about, once a prophet has achieved its level of perfection enough to actually rest with Hashem and Shemayim, and then come the sages, right? Because again, there's no more prophets. The prophets already completed perfection. Then come the sages, and once the sages completed their levels of perfection, now it's building.
I don't know if the chronology is necessarily kept all the way through. It could be that you'll have a prophet that comes back a couple of times, and you'll have a sage that's already coming, and perhaps perfected himself.
And then anyway, so I got to the conclusion that essentially the Mashiach has to be its own unique soul, and a person has to earn it. There's never been a person that has earned, and to earn your level, and to become the Mashiach, you have to encompass the ultimate divine emotion of love and the ultimate love for Hashem, because that's
So your claim is that Mashiach will have to be perfect?
No, Mashiach will not be. Essentially, Mashiach will be perfect from our stance, the level of perfection that human beings can. Obviously not Hashem's level of perfection. No Yetzirah, nothing. And so this has to be earned. It's never going to be given. Hashem will never just put the Mashiach on earth. It has to be a person who encompasses all of Hashem's divine love and rules. And
so what you're saying is that Mashiach had to have been here before?
No. Well, maybe a person could be essentially. I think any human being has the ability to be Mashiach. It's just you have to earn it. You have to have the ultimate love for Hashem.
Yeah.
And so,
the question
to become the Mashiach, you have to be the person who has loved Hashem even more than Avraham Avinu, the person who loves Hashem so much they have no flaw, even though the prophets have flaws. That's the difference between a prophet and the Mashiach himself.
Where's that premise coming from? The Mashiach is perfect.
So the premise is coming from. Well,
I go right with discussion, or should we have this on our own?
You're sure?
It's an interesting discussion.
Cool. So the reason I got to this premise is because essentially no prophet has ever been perfect.
Yeah, I got you up until the point of saying that Mashiach will have to be perfect.
Right. So because
it feels right. The question is, does it have to be that way?
I guess the question is, to become a Mashiach, you have to be a person that cultivates the ultimate love for Hashem, and the person with the ultimate love for Hashem is essentially a person who's perfect on this earth, right? A person who.
Where are you?
Sorry. Yeah, no, that is definitely so. When we talk about Mashiach, we're talking about a human being, a living being.
Just like me and you or anybody in here can be Mashiach.
Who has experienced life and made good choices. That he had to actually attain perfection. I'd like to think that way. I'm not sure there's any source to it. It makes sense.
But Rabbi, right? The Hashem tells us there will be a Mashiach. Right? Yeah. Hashem says there will be a person, and we know Hashem considers the only person to ever be considered Hashem's friend is Avraham Avinu. Hashem says that, Avraham, my friend. No other human being ever has been considered his friend. And the reason could be because Avraham Avinu was the first to cultivate the ultimate love for Hashem, even before there was a Torah, right? And because of that, Hashem gave him that level of respect to say, you're my friend. I have the ultimate relationship with you. Obviously, a friend is what we're given by Hashem to conceive of a relationship. But for Hashem to claim Avraham Avinu my friend, it's because he was the first human with free will, without a Torah, without anything, to come to the conclusion, right? To come to the ultimate love for Hashem. Avraham Avinu loved Hashem so much. That's why, Hashem made a deal with Avraham Avinu that everybody from your descendants will be my people, because it's not Avraham was the smartest, wisest, fastest, strongest.
Yeah.
He had the ultimate love. He loved Hashem.
And Mashiach
will ultimately have the ultimate love for Hashem and be a perfect human being on this earth.
Again, I don't want to push the point. It makes sense. We're used to looking for, some kind of reference to this somewhere. Does it say that he's going to be the the perfect human being? I'm not aware of it. But it makes sense.
And to become perfect, you have to have the ultimate love.
Yes, and you have to experience that on this earth.
Right. Because love is the ultimate emotion we were given.
Yes.
You know, we only experience, Hashem bestowed upon us goodness because He loved us and gave us the opportunity to accept and love Him back.
Yeah.
It doesn't make much sense to me that Mashiach would be a perfect person. I feel like the only way that you discover an ultimate love for Hashem would be in the times of sorrow and the times where you've done things wrong. That's usually the most inspiring. That's usually the biggest changing point for you.
That's part of earning it.
I don't think the perfect human being that he's referring to was one that never made a mistake.
Right.
It's one who grew from his mistakes.
But I'm saying I don't think perfection is a state we've reached. I think it's a state you can have moments of. But the design of our brain and our chemistry and our desires means that perfection is never an ultimate state. I think the ultimate love for Hashem is what perfection really is.
I disagree.
It's the same thing.
No, I disagree. I think once a person experiences the ultimate love for Hashem and experiences perfection,
It's an academic discussion. As far as we're concerned, we all know that this is true for ourselves. Whether or not it is possible for someone to be more than that is theoretics only.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned, any dream of reaching that level without lots of mistakes and learning from them is not realistic. That's what we're like. Okay, I'd like to get back to, we were talking about Torah study, using our brains. This commandment of studying Torah all the time. The goal in Judaism is definitely wisdom. Rambam writes this in his introduction to the commentary on Mishnah. The purpose is to be wise. Just Rambam's definition of wisdom is integrated wisdom. Which means, and we discussed this, that everything you study has to make sense. But above all, it's got to be that your understanding is so piercing that the behavior just follows from it without much of an effort. Or it's only natural because it's so obvious that this is right. You see, that's the real goal. The goal is not to be living constantly in this battle and learning to win all the time, or at least most of the time. The goal really is to attain such clarity that it's obvious, there's a way to live. Like I brought up, if a Jew doesn't steal because he's afraid of getting caught, a Jew doesn't steal because he's afraid that God's going to get it. He didn't get it. A Jew doesn't steal because he understands that it is wrong to go and take something that's not yours. The reality of that piece of information has to be so piercing that you can't see yourself doing otherwise. This is true of every aspect of Torah. Which is again why there are few deterrents in the Torah itself. The courts give little punishment. The Jew does what's right because he knows it's right. Because his appreciation of it being right is so clear, so piercing. And this has to be the goal in everything you study. To feel this is right. And if it's not, to work through it. Because it's got to be right. Now, in discovering right from wrong, some of it is very basic, but much of it is nuanced. Part of the greatness that Hashem bestowed upon the human being is our ability to comprehend subtleties, our ability to be nuanced. And becoming more wise, growing, doesn't just mean you've picked up more information. It means that you have a greater sensitivity to every situation. Rambam therefore writes, the same way the Talmid Chacham, one who knows his Torah, is different from others because he knows more, it's got to be apparent in his behavior. And the Rambam goes into details. And what the Rambam's describing is a finer human being. And it's necessarily so. So I want to pick out a few examples. Example number one is he's not petty. Doesn't make issues of everything. He's above it. You know, what kind of people make issues of everything? You know, one might have thought, what do you mean? The wise man understands and makes issues of everything. And those who are not so wise, they fudge it.
But it's not of everything, it's of like non-important things.
You see, that's the difference. A wise man knows what's important and what is not. He is not petty. Something that's important, he will stand up for a principle, come what may. And something that's unimportant, he won't make an issue of it. Who cares? You know, this is what Torah is supposed to be teaching us. You know, real priorities. And again, nuanced. One example Rambam brings in it, the Gemara mentions it, is in terms of money. You know, people say it's the money, it's the principle, not the money. Who are they kidding? It's the money. For someone wise, yeah, to some extent it's the money. But if it's small money, who cares? Why not become a man of principle? Become a man of principle in your own behavior, in not depriving someone else of something they deserve. But becoming a man in principle where you have to live up to your responsibility to me, that's not very complimentary. A wise person knows the differentiate between the two. So it says, a wise person does not make issues of small money. The truth is, he probably doesn't make issues of anything that really shouldn't be important. Ramban has such a, I don't know where you're up to in your Hebrew skills. Ramban has a gem. The book of Kohelet begins, Havel Havalim Amar HaKohelet. The vanity of vanities, said King Solomon. Vanity of vanities. Havel Havalim. Havel Havalim HaKol Hovel. Everything's vain.
What's he talking? He's talking about Hashem, or he's talking about?
He's talking about vanities. He's talking about everything physical. Right? So he says it's all vanity. It's all vain. Vanity of vanities. Ramban says that in Hebrew, that translation could mean something totally different. The word havel is also a command. Havel havalim could mean vanity of vanities, or it could mean havel havalim, make vanities vain. And he explains that the wise King Solomon is telling us, don't give more value to things that are vain than they deserve. Something's vain, let it be vain.
How can you tell what's what? Like in the money case, for instance, how much is a little bit of money until it becomes?
Obviously, it's relative. It's very relative, depending on how wealthy you are or how needy you are.
Then, like a general case of things that are vain versus not vain, it's also relative.
It's the concept of vanity in itself, isn't it?
I don't know. My example was a few situations like this of people. I don't know, they're redoing their bathroom and they ordered the state-of-the-art tiles. And one of the tiles was chipped. So they sued the company. And there was this court case that dragged on for months, and they couldn't sleep at night. They used to wake up with this cold sweat.
So a little bit of doubt.
How much do you make yourself crazy for the tiles in your bathroom?
Well, is it the internal feeling or how you express that?
The internal feeling. The expression is the expression of your feeling. You are so overvaluing it. It is so off. You've taken something vain and you're turning it into something real. Aesthetics are nice, but that's not what you live for. Certainly not your bathroom tiles. You know, what we've seen people like get all worked up over. Come on, be sane. Is it worth it? Yeah, then again they come back with, it's not the money, it's the principle. Leave me alone with the principle. You know, yeah.
Where's the line between, I guess, not getting crazy about the petty stuff and letting people walk all over you? Or is that not in your control?
It is in your control. It is definitely under your control, but it's very much a matter of how you take it. If what you're doing is acquiescing from a point of weakness, everyone will walk over you. But it's a point of strength where it's beneath you, then I can walk over you.
Sure.
Because you're a bigger person. That's where we're supposed to be.
Right. Thank you.
Torah is supposed to get us to use our brains, and with that, give ourselves an accurate sense of the place of everything in life. What is important and what's vain. And there's a whole hierarchy. What wins out over what? This is all part of the mitzvah of Torah study, which is developing an authentic, accurate set of priorities. Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Rosh.
Thank